a while. I just want to say to all my Facebook friends, you know how hard I work. I sacrifice my kids, my finances, my life. So I wouldn't be volunteering all my work for someone who's not genuine. This man that I'm about to interview is the most genuine man that I know of. He's fighting this cause. He is a man of high integrity. Every time I meet with him and speak to him, he just impresses me more with the morals and values that he has. I went to the streets over the weekend and I took some questions from people who don't know of Sanjeev, who's creating a party. So I've got those questions with me here today, and Sanjeev was kind enough to let me interview him. So I'll swap over to Sanjeev. Sanjeev, hi.
Hello, Anthea. Thank you for doing this. It's fantastic.
No, thank you. So you're answering some questions.
Sure.
And I know that you're a busy man. I know that you work 15 hours a day trying to create this party. So I
right now, yeah.
appreciate the time that you're taking to do this. So now, one, there's some people out there who don't know much about you.
Yes.
So I just wanted you to just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yes. So basically, I came to Australia a little bit more than 20 years ago. I was a senior civil servant in India. People like my batchmate, we joined at the same time. We are the Permanent Civil Service of India. And he's, for example, the senior most public servant of India, the cabinet secretary and so on. So by now, if I had continued, I'd be one of the senior officers of India. Wow. But I resigned because I did not like the corrupt system in India, and you might have heard about the corruption. It's quite ghastly. I can got hundreds of stories to tell, and I wanted to change it. So I wanted to start a political party to fix India's problems, and I have succeeded. In 2013, we did manage to get a political party up and running. There are wonderful people on the ground in India doing the work. I'm always supporting them. I'm like a mentor. I write things for them. I write articles in terms of India. So I've been very, very busy with this India project. And so nobody in Australia really knew me because I was focused on India. And so that's why you didn't know much about me.
Very admirable. Okay, second question. This was from a lady over the weekend. She said, why did you step down from your position of the Treasurer and Finance Senior Manager last year?
Yeah, Anthea, so the way things go in my life, as you know, I totally don't care about a job. I do a thing because I think it's the right thing to do. For me, it doesn't matter what job I do. And when I came to Australia, I was quite happy to be a McDonald, person, quite comfortable, because nothing matters to me more than doing the right thing. And so in this case, what is going on, Anthea, unfortunately, we had the government of Victoria started breaching all the sensible principles that we have fought for. For 15 years, I was in the Treasury advising not just Dan Andrews, but right from the time of, Steve Bracks, basically. It was when John Brumby was the Treasurer. Then we had Kim Wells and others as the Treasurer of the Liberal. And now then we had our own Tim Pallas. And I've been advising the Treasurers through cabinet submissions, through advice on cabinet submissions, through other processes and briefs on a range of policies. And one of the first principles, Anthea, is that we must follow proportionate policies. We should not be doing things that are disproportionate and excessive.
100%.
The moment, because then what you do is you basically misdirect the resources of the people and you actually cause harm. This is a big issue for us. That's why we have a thing called cost-benefit analysis, that every policy goes through what are the costs, what are the benefits. So if you think that there are great benefits, but you also should count the costs. So we were demanding within the Treasury, me and a number of economists, I can tell you, not just me, were asking the senior officials of the Treasury, where is the cost-benefit analysis of the lockdowns? You might have seen many senior economists have actually come out in the newspapers, shocked, with real angry suggestions. Why have we not done a cost-benefit analysis of lockdowns? So these policies, which were fundamentally very much ill planned, I also found they were against the Victoria's own pandemic plan. I started opposing them internally within the department. I actually said we should follow the risk-based approach, and unfortunately they did not. So risk-based means the elderly would have been protected, but now what we did is we actually started putting the resources on the young people. As a result, we were chasing people who are not at risk, and we did not care about the people who were really at risk. And so we had 800 people die in Victoria. I blame that entirely on Dan Andrews and Tim Pallas for not listening to sensible advice. Anyway, when the police started beating up the young people in the streets, that's when I drew a line, Anthea. I started calling this a police state on my social media account.
Yeah, I'm choking that girl.
I was asked by my senior officials to remove that. And also they said remove any indirect criticism of the government. Now, I have written thousands of things, in my life that could be considered indirect criticism of the government's policies. That, by the way, is not even under the code of conduct. We're not supposed to remove such kind of comments. I'm only supposed to remove comments which are directly in my area. So the request was illegal, and I'll fight that in the due course. But as a result, after the meeting with this particular, when they asked me, I said, I'm going to fight for this. This is like the India fight. I have to fight for the truth and I have to fight for the right things in the world. So I left my job immediately. I resigned instantly on the spot.
Can I just tell you, that's very honorable.
I think we have to do that. Otherwise, what are we living our life for? Life is not a matter of just eating food and somehow, becoming rich. I think that doesn't matter in the end. What matters is what you do in life and the principles you stand for. So, Anthea, I have
100%.
never ever allowed, wrongdoings to go unchecked.
So what you're saying is you gave up a very good wage, and I'm guessing it was over $100,000 a year.
Yes.
Because you stand for your morals, your values, and the right of the freedom of the people.
I do not tolerate, and the other one that really bothered me a lot, Anthea, was when Brett Sutton and Dan Andrews said that you wear a mask outdoors. I looked at the literature. There's not the slightest evidence that the masks are required outdoors under any circumstance. I asked Brett Sutton, where's the proof? He then, after a few months, blocked me. I asked Matthew Guy, where is the proof? Can you ask in Parliament? Matthew Guy, my local MP and the former head of the Liberal Party in Victoria, he blocked me on Twitter. So essentially what I found is that the representatives of the people are not listening. The chief health officer is doing the wrong thing and nobody's giving answers. And sorry, then you're picking a fight with me, guys. The moment you force me to put a mask on my face outdoors, and I said at that time, I wear masks, N95 masks in shopping centers because I'm very concerned about, at my age, I'm 61, I should be taking precautions. So I was wearing these masks even before anybody even thought about the masks in Victoria. I was wearing them in public transport, N95, okay, remember that. So I'm not against masks, but I'm against disproportionate actions. I'm against anyone encroaching freedoms without reason. So now when Dan Andrews picked a fight directly with me and Brett Sutton picked a fight with me and my bosses in the Treasury, including the Secretary of the Treasury, who's not responded to my open letter as well as to an email, everyone is picking a fight with me. I'm sorry, guys. I was fighting my war in India, but now I'm going to fight you guys here, okay? I do not, unfortunately, compromise. I do not compromise at all in life, and that's why I'm here. Thank you.
So 2 things I get from that. One, when they block you, that silence is an answer in itself.
Yes.
2, you are about the choice for the people. Everyone should have a choice.
The right action. So what happens here is there's a thing called optimality in economics, in mathematics. Anything has to be done in the right level. So there's got to be some constraints and some precautions taken when there's a pandemic, but there's got to be the right precautions. And there's got to be the choice. And people need to be explained. We are not fools here. Brett Sutton is not smarter than me under any circumstance, okay? And neither is Dan Andrews. Let them remember that. They need to know that I go into the details of any damn thing. You can pick up the physics, you can pick up quantum mechanics, you can pick up biology, medicine, anything, economics. I go right into the depths of the literature. And I want to see the answers myself.
So you research it.
I research it myself. Mm-hmm. So never fool me and never try to force me to do things that are wrong. So when you force me to do things that are wrong, I will fight you, and I'm out here to do that. And I'm also here to protect the people from being beaten up by Victoria Police, which lost a lot of my goodwill. I had a lot of goodwill for Victoria Police. I loved the Victoria Police. I worked very closely with them for many years, in fact, while I was in Work Cover Authority. But unfortunately, my impression of the Victoria Police fell very badly when they started following the illegal orders of Dan Andrews and started beating up people for doing things that are actually causing no harm. Why would the police not ask the proof of harm from the Chief Health Officer? What are these people doing? There's a young woman who was almost choked.
Yeah.
What was she doing that was causing any harm to anybody? I want to know why the Victoria Police doesn't do its own due diligence. Anyway, there's a lot of issues here.
You could go on.
Yes.
All right. So the third question I received was, what is your objective in forming the party?
Obviously, the last thing in my life I wanted to do was to even think of forming a party. Forget about forming a party. This is the worst thing in my life that I've been forced to do because I see this as there is simply no choice. right from the beginning, I was initially thinking maybe I'll join the Liberal Party and fight. But then I found the Liberal Party is part of the problem. And so I could not join the Liberal Party. Then I started looking for a coalition. And you were actually initially part of that coalition group that had formed. About 10 people from four different parties, LDP, IMOB, A1, Great Australia Party. And at that stage, we had Monica and Morgan as well on that group as well. So now this little group was where I had the discussions. I was trying to form a team which will actually work together. I called it the third front.
To collaborate together.
To collaborate and fight these guys, because I was expecting, and the news.com, Frank Chun wrote this article about me after talking on the phone. I'm expecting around 2 to 20% of the people are unhappy with the way things are going. And my job target was to collect this 2 to 20% of the vote into a single preferencing deal so that we can rock the boat and shake the tree and let the people fall wherever they fall. I don't care who gets elected, Liberal, Labour, doesn't matter. They need to be aware that jobs are under threat. Once the jobs are under threat, they might listen to us, because they're not listening. They're blocking. Matthew Guy is blocking me. What does he expect? Does he expect me to take it lying down, Matthew Guy? No, Matthew Guy. I will fight you in my own constituency. I will be against you next year. If I lose this particular election, Menzies, I will fight you, Matthew Guy. Please be aware. Now, so this is, I guess, the situation for us is, Anthea, that we cannot allow our, the politicians to go well beyond the law, which they have done, and we have to fight. So I wrote the complaint to the criminal code as well. I wrote a book as well. I wrote a number of articles. I've explained this is not a pandemic. That's very serious. It is definitely a pandemic, but it's in the range of Hong Kong flu. It's not a Spanish flu. They've been telling us lies. They've been telling us lies through their nose. I can go on, but Anthea, this is where the reality is. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Number 4, what are the 3 most important things the party stands for?
So the party basically has been formed finally based on the need to, get a party in the center. So we have a few parties already on the side, which will pick up the votes maybe of the people who are very unhappy about maybe the forced vaccines and so on. I'm basically talking about a second party that is required, at least a minimum second party that's going to be right in the center to pick up the swing voter. Both the disenchanted voter from the Liberal and Labour Party. And the feedback is very clear. A lot of people are very unhappy, Anthea, about the fact that no one is listening to them. The MPs are not responding to the emails that people send to them.
100%. I've been one of them. They don't listen to the people at all. They don't care about the people.
And this message Peter Harris got very strongly. Peter Harris was on the group that you were with. You were on. He was from the Vaccine Choice Australia. I had just accidentally come across him through Ruby, actually, who contacted me about 3 months ago. And he was sitting there watching what's going on, and he was not interested in forming a party. He's just not interested. He was a founder of the Family First Party, so I had to involve him as a maybe he can provide some strategic advice. But I had no party and no interest in forming a party. And then suddenly he realized that he's getting this massive feedback from people that they're very angry with their representatives. They want a different system. And then he says that just before Easter, now he was talking to me about this on the phone, and he said just before Easter he got this epiphany that actually the cause of the problem is the top-down hierarchy of the political parties. He got the cause very well understood. Peter Harris therefore persuaded me that this is the main issue. So the main issue for this party, and the other among the 3, is we will deepen democracy. We need a party that will actually respond to the constituents, where the policy is not made top-down, but horizontal. That means we actually have the candidates and the elected members contribute to the policies. They listen to the constituents, and we will definitely want to, build instruments for that. I'm talking of IT platform, which is already under development. So we're basically talking of a party of debate. I want to see even the members of the party, are talking about the same issue in a public forum, not just in the party room. Let them debate and fight about it, okay? So that's the first thing. Second thing is we want to revert back basic freedom. That's why I resigned. My resignation was for the fact that there's no basic freedom in Australia anymore.
So it's for the freedom of the people.
So that's the second main message, that we will bring back the freedom that we had, and we'll actually make it better by reducing the interference of government, which is unnecessary. Any unnecessary interference of the government, and here we will look at very carefully from this party and reduce that interference. We will minimize the role of government in our life. And the third one, Anthea, I didn't even know about this, I didn't even realize that all this stuff is going on in schools and so on. You mentioned things, but actually about 6 people have mentioned to me already that there's a lot of misdirection and bad things going on in schools. And I don't want to talk about the details here, but really it appears that the basic values of society have been lost. Michael Anderson, who is a great Aboriginal leader and who started the 10th Embassy, he's also a member of our party. He's a leader of our party. he also told me that they're not willing to let the Aboriginal people even look after their children. They come in and control the Aboriginal people and take away their children if the parents don't do exactly what these so-called smarter people are saying.
Yeah.
Why are parents not allowed to look after their own children? I don't understand. Are the children owned by the state? Are we some kind of living in the Republic of Plato where there is a kind of communist society and the children are owned by the state? No, we have freedoms. Let the family be a unit of.
Let us make our choices.
Let people make the choices. Let them learn from their mistakes. We should support everybody in their development. But the interference that we are doing inside the family and in the way that children are brought up, I think it's reached a point of excessiveness. And there are a lot of other things going on, that I don't agree with. This things like the woke culture and whatnot. I keep hearing a lot of things. I'm not very good at that, Anthea, so you'll pardon me, but I don't pay attention to these things much. But I'm hearing a lot of things which I don't like. So restoring eternal values, I think to me that's a third point. The party will fight for the values that have lasted for thousands of years to humanity. We don't want to replace those values, and we don't want moral relativism. We don't want to say that everything is good. No, there are some things that are good and some things that are not good. And what we want to do is to give the people the choice to decide that. And the laws should be such that the government interference is minimum. So these are the three things, I think: deepening democracy, reverting back our freedoms, and restoring eternal values.
Family traditions.
And traditions. Yes.
Yeah. All right. That is true. Like, we don't have a choice as parents now. Okay. The number 5, who are the founders of the party?
The party obviously is founded by Peter Harris, who has come out with this massive epiphany, which I think is a huge leap in the development of democracy across the world. I've never come across this idea anywhere else. And I argue that this is like the democracy number 2, where we actually are going to use IT platforms and we're going to give the people the community pact that we talked about. And also Peter Harris is the founder, to simplify the answer. Peter Harris is the founder of this party. I'm the first follower of the party, and I follow Peter's vision. And I'm supporting his vision because I believe this is the answer for Australia. And I'm here to support Australia to get back, to build a platform. I'm here to help as much as I can, but as I said, my mind is in India. As soon as I get back my liberties, I'm leaving it to you, Anthea, and to Peter and everybody else to run this country the way it was, so that I can go for a park and do my normal things without having to worry about my basic freedoms. So I'm here to help and support everybody to build this party. And I'm here to fight on this platform. But as soon as the liberties are done and achieved, I will leave it all to the young people and others to run the whole thing. So I'm expecting Peter to be there for a long time. I'm not a founder of the party. I'm just a supporter of the party. And I'm the strong supporter of the party.
So what you're saying to me, so I'll just sum it up,
Yeah.
is you're doing all the hard work.
No, that's not that true. Peter's doing so much hard work. I can't believe it.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. So you're doing like all the hard work for us, like all the people.
No, it's for me. Anthea, no, I'm doing it for me. For my freedom, Anthea.
For your freedom,
my
for all our freedom.
I do not do anything for anybody. Let's be clear. I do things for myself and my freedom. I fight when people provoke me, and Dan Andrews provoke me, so I'm fighting. I'm not fighting for the people in general. It's a very specific thing. I want my liberty back. And this is the best way for us to get liberty. In the process, all people who want liberty, and so you want liberty, you're fighting for your liberty. I'm encouraging everybody to fight for their liberty. Guys, this is a platform. Come together and fight on this platform. Because we are building a brand new and phenomenal platform, never heard of in human history, where each of us can ultimately come out as the sovereign citizen that we are. I insist that we are all fundamentally sovereign. We have come not from Dan Andrews. I'm not related to Dan Andrews or something. I have come from the nature, could be God or whatever. I have my own existence on this planet. And so I and you and everybody, Anthea, must live their own life. And so as individual human beings who are sovereign, we all do the thing that we come together when necessary. And then for me, the main thing is right now is necessary to get my freedoms back, but also for you to get your freedoms back, you need a platform. And so together, let's build this platform. And together, those who want and those who are capable should run the platform for the rest of Australia's future. Australia's representative is a dramatically innovative platform, and I suspect this will actually remain as the main party of Australia for the next 1,000 years. I don't see any other party replacing this party, because if it actually does what we are saying it should do, which is to give a genuine voice to the people, a genuine voice, then why would the people want to change this party? So once they have tasted the benefits of Australia's representatives, no other party will stand any chance in Australia in the future. So all this Liberal, Labour, etc., they'll be historical. I call them dinosaurs, okay, Anthea. I call them dinosaur parties. They are outdated. They are top-down hierarchies. They're selling they're spruiking for the corporates. They're spruiking for the globalists.
Yeah, no,
Scott Morrison is not speaking for me. Dan Andrews is not speaking for me. These fellows are speaking for CCP or maybe, pharma companies or maybe the globalists or the World Economic Forum or the Great Reset. I don't know what they're doing. They're not speaking for us, Anthea. And we will create a platform, you and I and everybody, we create a platform where people's voice is heard. Okay, and we want a party of debate. And once that is there, Anthea, you and I, particularly me, are completely wiped out. We don't need to be known to anybody. We're just the ones who help to create the platform, and we live our life back as anonymous people to the extent we can, and let everybody be happy in their own life and pursuit of happiness. Let everyone be free to pursue their happiness. And that's my goal, that we all actually just do what we need to do in life without having to do this massive political stuff.
The one thing I did see that I did like, the party seems very transparent to people. Like you did put up on the website for anyone to comment on the Constitution to give their input.
Yes.
I like that.
Oh, yes. I mean, when we say we're a party of consultation, how can we go around creating documents or visions or whatever without consultation? Tell me. So the first step was really to take the draft document. So Peter created a constitution. He wrote it down. And I've been commenting on that. And then after some time, we said, now it's time to go public. And people have given fantastic comments. I can tell you, people like, I won't name them because they may not like to be named, but I've had some fantastic comments from a number of people, which have been fed into the second version. Once I get the comments back, and the party will have a discussion of the comments. And there was a very vigorous debate that happened yesterday in the party on the comments we received. In the end, we've got this new draft, and then we'll have a final draft, hopefully by the end of this week or so, which I don't know, I can't commit to publishing it, but that we need a document that will be finally lodged with the AAC. So we'll have to think very carefully every single word, but really there's an opportunity for people to tell themselves, this is their platform. Remember, this is not us and you. This is
Australia. This is the people of Australia.
This is your platform, guys.
Okay.
You tell us what you want, and we will try to build that in. And then the Constitution, we're also keeping flexibility so that it can be amended very easily in the first 1 year. So all that is built into the Constitution. Have a read of it, and we want to be consultative on everything.
So anyone who wants to put in input, please email Sanjeev.
Yes.
This party is for all of Australia. All right. So the last one was, how do people join the party? That was a question for me.
Well, we have created a little bit of an online registration form. That's not yet linked with a bank account. There's a $1 fee, which we will try to link with a bank account in the future. But right now, you just plug in your name and details. We have to ask you all sorts of details because the AEC, the Australian Electoral Commission, requires a lot of information, okay? And we have to give them that. But I can assure you, and Andy can assure you, I'm organizing the highest levels of privacy so that there's no data security leak. And so we will make sure that your data is protected. And so once you plug in your data, there's a thing called ausreps.org, AUSREPS.org. And there's a thing called Become a Member. And then you can go there and sign up there. Yeah.
All right. So the website is AUSREPS.org.
Yeah.
And then they just go in and sign up, a member.
Yeah.
Now, can you explain to me, because I know that you explained to me prior,
yeah.
What was your strategy for people paying $1? Just so they know, because some people
this is
think...
basically a debate within the party, okay? I thought that this suggestion came from Peter, and I've accepted this because as an economist, I think it makes sense to me, and people can have a debate, okay? That if you just make it free, people don't value it, and they might even forget that they're a member of the party. Mm-hmm. But just by paying a single gold coin, and this, by the way, is a minimum fee. So we've got an option where, when we put out the form finally for the payment gateway, you can pay more than $1 if you want. But the point here was that people sort of have this natural tendency to remember something for which they paid money. Okay, so then they get some commitment as well. So when people join, it's not just for the idea, but you actually join as you actually connect with the party. And so this is a small token, but I suspect the token is like a little badge. When you buy a little badge from Red Cross, for $1, you actually have a link with that organization. Mm-hmm. Similarly, a small token here of amount, I think this is my view, but people can have a debate. This is a view. At the moment, this is our position in the party that a $1 minimum fee is the right thing to do.
All right. Thank you. Was there anything else you wanted to say? And is there anyone out there who would like to ask Sanjeev any questions?
Look,
Okay,
I would be happy to answer questions if people write to me at my email at sablok@gmail.com, SABHLOK@gmail.com.
Okay, I have a question here. Do you mind if...
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I'm just going to have to grab my glasses, Sanjeev. It's very small writing.
Okay, go for it.
All right, so Cornelia wants to know, what is the name of the party, please, and which platform? Okay, so...
Oh, the name of the party, oh, right, of course I didn't mention that. It's called Australia's Representatives. It's a simple thing. We are just representing the Australians, and it's Australia's Representatives. And
Perfect.
they're basically intended to represent the constituency.
All right. Is there anyone else that wants to say anything? No? Okay. I just want to say thank you to Sanjeev for the interview. Everyone, like, I have been getting to know Sanjeev personally, and I call him the Gandhi. You are.
Come on.
So if anyone wants to help and put input in, just let us know. Cornelia said thank you, Sanjeev.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
All right. Bye for now, guys.